Hello, this is the summer edition of Pages for All Ages. I'm Leah Godwin from Fitzgerald Elementary.
And I'm Nitsa Campos from Pope Elementary. And Leah, we've got some good books. I think we're only reviewing 7 today, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
But they're good books.
They are wonderful books.
We don't review bad books.
And I will start. Nothing in Common by Kate Heffler and Karina Luken. This is a wonderful picture book for all ages. 2 neighbors have nothing in common, so they never waved at each other. And little known to those 2 neighbors, they both loved to watch an old man and his dog. They noticed the little things about the interactions between owner and dog, and they found joy in the love that they witnessed there. These neighbors were the only ones who noticed when something was missing from their day. The old man had lost his dog and had a notice to post about the lost friend. They had never seen the old man cry or heard a name called so sadly. The next morning, they both went out with binoculars and a helmet so they could think. And they knew that the marvelous dog could be anywhere doing anything. They also knew that a marvelous friend is hard to find. They looked at all the same places and thought about the old man crying, but other than that, they had nothing in common. That same day, when they saw a hot air balloon float over the city, only they thought that a dog might be flying it looking for his marvelous friend because that poor little dog was lost. This was a big undertaking for a dog, and it was a big thing for the 2 to notice, but dogs are not birds, and they cannot see their way home from the sky, especially if the dog is without binoculars. And a balloon is a great moon with ropes, and you need someone with a helmet who understands where a balloon dog wants to go. You need someone marvelous like that to find the way home to the old man so you can return his dog. And this time, the old man cried because he was happy, and the dog could do marvelous things, and he did. The 2 neighbors thought that the other was marvelous too, even though they had nothing in common. And you know, that's something. And I want to just show you a few of the illustrations. I didn't want to interrupt my telling, but here they are with their helmets on because they needed something to help them think. And here they are pulling the balloon dog down from the sky so they could help him find his way home. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the book that I had last time, The Tree and Me, it's by the same illustrator, and the illustrations are very similar, just really pretty.
That pink and blue.
You can definitely tell that she had her artist's hand in this. I love her illustrations, Karina Luken. And I just thought this was a beautiful story about how, you know, you do have something in common with people that you think you have nothing in common with. So, and they got to become friends. I love this little old man's cheeks. He looks so sweet. Beautiful book. Wonderful book for all ages. I'll show you a little bit of the illustrations here on the back and how pretty that is.
Geez, Leah. Mascara alert would have been...
I'm sorry, mascara alert.
I think would have been nice and is in order for that book.
I almost had one myself. I got a little in my throat. So, beautiful book.
Well, whew, okay. My book is I Am the Storm by Jane Yolen and Heidi Stemple. The art is produced by Kristen and Kevin Howdeshell. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it is a picture book. Jane Yolen and Heidi Stemple show kids how scary tornadoes, blizzards, wildfires, and hurricanes can be, and that it's okay to be scared. During these frightening times, there can also be joy and a time to make memories with your family. Have a party in the basement when the lights go out, make a fire and roasting marshmallows during a blizzard, and spending time with cousins during a hurricane. Nature is strong and powerful, but I am strong and powerful too. I am the storm. That is what the how the end of the book. At the rear of the book, it has short explanations about tornadoes, blizzards, wildfires, and hurricanes. And the illustrations are beautiful, and the message will soothe kids anxious about storms. This book makes a perfect lesson on how students can empower themselves regarding things or situations that might frighten them. And I want to show you just a few of the really pretty illustrations in this book. I love that orange and yellow and purple. It just takes up the whole page. And when the lights go out, here they are having a party in the basement, and they're making memories. I love the snow scene, but I love snow. I know a lot of Texans don't say that, but this Texan loves snow. And this picture right here, all that purple with the black, it's just gorgeous. And like I said, it does end with I am the storm, and then here is the rear of the book that does give a little bit of explanation about tornadoes, blizzards, wildfires, and hurricanes. This is a great book. It's Jane Yolen, and she's amazing.
The cover's beautiful.
It is
I love the
beautiful.
purple and
And
pink of the storm.
And when you open it, it's a whole picture when you open it up. All right, Leah, what do you have next, my friend?
My next book is Regina is Not a Little Dinosaur by Andrea Zuill. And this is a picture book, I think, that would be targeted for ages 2 through 6, but it's really a picture book for anybody. It is a lot of fun. Little Regina is a baby T-Rex. Her mother thinks she's too little to hunt, but Regina is convinced that she is not too little. So she practices her fearsome stare and her use of camouflage. And I have to show you this picture right away because it is so cute. Here she is practicing, and here is her use of camouflage with only her head covered. Poor little Regina. After checking to make sure that her mother is not around, Regina goes off alone on her first real hunt. Regina spies something in the undergrowth, and she creeps up and bites a triceratops on the tail, and he just says, ouch, which scares Regina, but she is convinced that she would ruin her dinner if she had a snack that size. Here's where she bites the tail, and the triceratops says, ouch. Sensing she should be more careful, she waits for more prey, falls asleep, and wakes up when she catches a scent. Yes, it's a smaller dinosaur, but how do you bite through all of those scales? And here she is trying to bite through the scales, and you can see her going, nom, nom. Oh no! What if Regina is doomed to the life of an herbivore? She later finds something that is smaller and looks rather rat-like, so she roars at it and is scared when the little creature hisses at her in reply. Regina runs and decides to turn around and roar, scaring the creature off. Well, here, maybe she scared the creature off. Let me find that page. Maybe she scares the creature off. But Regina has no idea that Mama was behind her. Mama is angry with Regina, but forgives her. And since Regina really wants to hunt, Mama makes her a list of things that are safe to hunt, like rocks and worms and plants, which that's here, rocks and worms and plants, but not bees. If you loved Sweetie, the story of the naked mole rat that Andrea also wrote, you will love this story about growing up and Regina. And if you look at Regina, her little face looks a little bit like Sweetie.
It does. Her little overbite is like precious.
And I love her mother. Her mother is sweet, too.
And I like how you say naked.
Naked mole rat.
Naked. Yeah, I say naked. And I love that you say naked. That's what had me cracking up. All right, my very next book is This Very Tree, A Story of 9/11, Resilience, and Regrowth by Rubin. It is a picture book appropriate for students in grades kinder through 6. However, I do think this book, it has a rightful place in middle schools and high schools. It is absolutely gorgeous. A pear tree speaks on how she was planted in the plaza between the twin towers. Her job was to provide shade, give birds a place to rest, and announce to everyone that spring was coming. There's that picture for that. Spring is coming. She was in the plaza the day the towers fell, and it was weeks until she was found under rubble. She was taken to a nursery to heal after her dramatic change from the devastation. Just see how dramatically she did change. As the years passed and she began to regrow, the city was regrowing too. And I love how they did this, how she's regrowing at the top and how the city is rebuilding itself. I just think that's so smart. When the 9/11 memorial was completed, she was returned to her home where now the plaza is filled with trees. And she has a new job upon her return. And I just wanted to read this last page very quickly. It says, anyone who felt a shadow overhead could stand under my leaves and find peace. Anyone who was hurt could see how my branches had healed and find hope. In my plaza, filled with so many trees, I am still the first to blossom. And the rear of the book has an author's note and a brief history of the World Trade Center, 9/11, and the survivor tree. The illustrations are light and happy until they can't be, and return to the light and happy during the healing process and recovery. It is an inspiring book filled with hope and resilience. Now, if you're looking for a book to directly introduce the tragedy that transpired on September 11th, 2001, this is probably not the book. This book does not directly explain 9/11. This would be a wonderful book to read after having such a heavy lesson or discussion. This book embodies healing, hope, peace, and strength in the midst of tragedy. It is, Leah, this book is amazing, and I didn't know about the survivor tree.
I didn't either.
I was there a few years ago, and if I would have known about it, I would have gone to seek it out. But there is an author's note at the end. He talked about he was in high school when 9/11 happened. I remember where I was. I was teaching first grade at Vita Knox. And there is a brief history here on the World Trade Center and 9/11 and the survivor tree. And there's a note on the illustrations and stuff. But it is a powerful book. I strongly recommend this for libraries, for elementary schools and middle schools, and I see it has a place in high schools too.
Beautiful book.
Beautiful book.
And what a beautiful review. You did a great job with that. That made me really want it, and it also touched my heart a lot. Oh,
It's yours. I will order another one.
how sweet. My next book, get ready. Attack of the Underwear Dragon by Scott Rothman, illustrated by Pete Oswald. Now, Nita, you know how I love an underwear book.
I sure do, my friend.
So I found another one to share. Cole has always wanted to be an assistant knight to Sir Percival, his favorite knight of King Arthur's Round Table. So Cole wrote a letter to Sir Percival which made him cry. Yes, knights cry. Knights cry at sad plays and bad plays, and when they step on something sharp, or they run into a harp, or when they cut onions or get bunions, and when they get stuck on a castle ceiling, or when a wizard hurts their feelings. And here are all those times that knights cry. The reason for Sir Percival's tears involved the memories of his childhood when he himself wrote to Sir Lancelot, who gave him a shot at being an assistant knight. So of course Sir Percival made Cole his assistant knight, and Cole had a lot to learn. He learned how to sharpen Sir Percival's swords, spears, battle axes, and knight pencils. He learned to ride a horse and swing a sword, and how to paint Sir Percival doing awesome knight poses, and calm Sir Percival down when he had a nightmare about the big, scary underwear dragon. Cole learned how to get knocked off a horse, knocked down by a knight, knocked over by a princess, and knocked out by a catapult. And at battle time, Cole learned how to pack Sir Percival's stuff and lug it to battle, cheer for Sir Percival when the battle began, and bandage his boo-boos when it was all over. Cole loved learning about Sir Percival and what made him a great knight, even though he was afraid that the underwear dragon would come and destroy the whole kingdom. And I have... Knocked over by a princess, yes. Those princesses, I tell you what. Here he is bandaging his boo-boos and calming him down. And one day, indeed, the underwear dragon did come and destroy the kingdom. All the knights fought the underwear dragon and lost, and soon there was only one knight left, Sir Percival. And then there were no knights left. So Cole wrote a letter to the underwear dragon. The underwear dragon got Cole's letter and he ate it. Because yes, you guessed it, underwear dragons cannot read. The underwear dragon went to eat Cole next. And when Cole saw the underwear dragon, he was scared. And when the underwear dragon attacked Cole, Cole didn't think he would be able to do anything. But Cole remembered that he had learned from being an assistant knight. So he fought and jousted and wrestled and catapulted the underwear dragon until his underwear flew off. And so did the underwear dragon. Here's where his underwear came off, and the underwear dragon flew off. The whole kingdom cheered and helped Cole clean up the mess. You see their banner is written on the underwear. Thank you, Cole. And Cole was made a knight of King Arthur's Round Table. And while everyone wanted to celebrate, Cole knew that he needed to rest because he would need to find his own assistant knight. So here is Cole in his bed and the poster about him being a hero, and he won the Golden Underwear Award.
Where do you find these?
The Attack of the Underwear Dragon. I don't know, they just pop up on my stuff. I guess since I've ordered so many underwear books, they just come up on You May Like.
Oh my God.
And I liked it, didn't you?
It's adorable. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's adorable. I was over here just snickering away. I loved it.
Well, you need an underwear book, so have an underwear book.
We're just swapping books today. That's what friends do. You swap books.
You swap books.
Swap books. All right. So my next story is When You Know What I Know by Sonja K. Solter. It is appropriate for students in grades 6 through 9. It is written in free verse, and its 10-year-old Tori is dealing with the aftermath of abuse at the hands of an uncle. After she tells her mother what happened, her mother doesn't believe her, and now she doesn't know what to do. School, friendships, and family are impacted and starting to suffer until her mother finally realizes her daughter was telling the truth. Tori is put in therapy and is navigating feelings of loneliness, anger, isolation, self-doubt, shame, embarrassment, and much more. It is important for students to see themselves in books and to see that there is hope. I saw some reviews recommending this book to students as young as 3rd grade. Now, in my personal opinion, 3rd graders may have the ability to physically read the words. However, just because they can doesn't mean that they are emotionally ready. And this is a book that I feel fits that. So 3rd graders can probably read it, but I don't know if 3rd graders are emotionally ready for a book like this. Now, if a parent knows of a child as young as a 3rd grader who has experienced such a horror, this may be an excellent book to read together or to discuss or to recommend. Now, this is a book I will make sure our school counselor is well aware of, because she may know just the person who needs this book. It is the free verse style has made this book very powerful in its telling. It didn't need to have all those words to make a very concise point. It is not described in detail the abuse that transpires. It does have to be inferred, but this is a book I strongly recommend for elementary and middle school libraries. But like I said, I'm really recommending it for 6th grade and up. That is my personal opinion. That is You know, I think for a book like that, I think adults or parents may have to make that decision.
Right. And I do love that free verse lends itself to be so powerful like
Yes.
that. I really
Oh, that's right.
like that.
I'm doing the next book. I
You
forgot.
are.
I was ready for Leah. Wow. Okay, this book. Let's give it a moment, because this one, Mary's Monster, Love, Madness, and How Mary Shelley Created Frankenstein. It is written by Lita Judge. Now, this book was written in 2018. It is not a brand new book. It is a YA and adult book. And I know my review of this book is not going to do it justice, but I am here to review books, so here I go. So 200 years ago, Frankenstein was born from the mind of a teenaged Mary Shelley. Lita Judge tells the heartbreaking life of Mary Shelley in verse. Mary Shelley is the child of two famous parents and experiences death early when her mother passes away. She is sent away by her horrible stepmother, and when she returns, she has an affair with Percy Shelley, which then leads to her being ostracized. She leads a troubled life, which includes her sister having an affair with Percy Shelley, poverty, the death of several children, and the death of Percy Shelley. Now, maybe you know about Mary Shelley, but do you really know Mary Shelley? You may know the surface of Shelley's life, but like an iceberg, there is much more underneath. I have such respect for Mary Shelley, and I am right now in the middle of reading Frankenstein. I know the last time we reviewed books, I was reading it, but I haven't had a chance to really delve into it. So it took me several weeks to finish this book, although it's not very long, but because I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to say I finished reading it. I would close the book and then wait several days just to pick it up. And when I closed the book upon completing it, I just sat in silence and in awe. I will be rereading this book sometime this summer, and there is so much I want to highlight and take notes on. I can't get over the writing. Lita Judge's writing is perfection. At first, I was wondering who did the mesmerizing illustrations, because the illustrations are dark, and they are a far departure from the illustrations I am used to seeing from Lita Judge. I'm used to seeing colorful and fun illustrations from her other books, such as Red Hat, Red Sled, Born in the Wild, the Hoot and Peep books, and Flight School, etc.
Flight School.
The illustrations in Mary's Monsters are breathtaking, gothic, haunting, remarkable, and perfect. It wasn't until I focused on the eyes in the illustrations that I realized this is Lita Judge who composed the illustrations. Lita Judge is magnificent. This is an absolute work of art, and in my mind, a masterpiece. This book is exquisite. It has now taken its place in my top favorite books of all times. One of my dear friends, Kimberly from Starrett Elementary, was in my car and saw the book. I had just begun reading the book and was just gushing about it. So Kimberly started reading it. And I remember her saying, wow. And I just was like, yeah, I know. And she had only read a few pages. You guys, read it. I have always been a huge fan of Lita Judge. I have a whole nother level of respect for Lita Judge after this, with her, not just the way the writing is composed, but her illustrations. I know I didn't do it justice, Leah, because
I think you did.
Wow.
I have that book, and I need to get it out as soon as I can and read that.
Okay, so this is a special edition, Pages for All Ages. Our dear friend Leah is moving to Lubbock. So, wow. So this is her send-off as she goes to Lubbock, and we just wish her all the very best.
I love you. Thank you so much. I love you too, honey.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and there's our unicorn.
Here's our unicorn. We can't forget the unicorn. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to make it through.
You did really well. You did really well. Look at all these people. Hi, y'all.
I'm so home.
Oh.
There's Joanna.
Yep.
But thank you, and we will see you next time on Pages
For All Ages. Bye.